Welcome to the Dream F1 season finale, and of course the main story today is the title fight between Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen. It has been an incredible comeback by Max Verstappen, who is only 3 points behind long-time championship leader Sainz, who had the chance to decide the championship in the last two races. Verstappen, with an incredible run of form since the Portuguese Grand Prix, however, has it now in his own hands. A win here will ensure him winning the title, as does any other constellation where he gains 3 points on Sainz. All Sainz needs to do is finish ahead of Max, or not let Max outscore him by 3 points. Another last-second decision will happen at Red Bull regarding their second seat alongside Max for next year. Earlier this season, the team announced that they would not retain Sergio Perez for next season due to his disappointing results this and in parts last year. The team announced that they will make their decision public at pre-season testing for the Dream F1 Season 3 in January 2025. This is also when the rest of the remaining seats will be confirmed. Except for one of the Williams seats, the traditional British racing privateers announced that Sergio Perez will join them next season. With this announcement, the question came up whether this is an exchange deal between Williams and Red Bull, where Albon gets the vacant Red Bull seat, or if Perez replaces Logan Sargent to race alongside Albon next season. Well, as mentioned before, this will all be decided at pre-season testing in January. Another decision will be made at the season finale of the Formula 3 Open World Series in Adelaide, Australia this weekend. In this season finale, it will be decided whether Ayumu Iwasa or Callum Hedge will be crowned champion. Jack Doohan led the way right from the start, with Hedge dropping behind Lawson to 4th. Doohan was attacked by Iwasa a few corners later already, with the championship contender taking the lead, putting him in the prime position for the title. With Hedge stuck in 4th, not really finding a way past his teammate, it was all on Iwasa to bring it home, which he did to become the first Formula 3 Open World Series champion. Also a short summary of the events of the Formula Inter-America season finale. The championship here was already decided in favor of Enzo Fittipaldi a few weeks ago. Colapinto started from pole, defending P1 from Zane Maloney through the Senna's. From there, it was a three-way battle between Colapinto, Maloney and Correa. With a bold move through the Senna's, Correa sensationally took the lead into the final lap. It then was a charge towards the line in which Correa kept the upper hand, winning his first race of the season. Colapinto was classified second after a photo finish with Maloney, while Fittipaldi only finished 8th. All of the final standings are on your screen right now, with the top 3 drivers of each championship potentially able to join Dream F1 next season. And now it is almost time for the big season finale here, which once again is the Brazilian Grand Prix. Traditionally, this race takes place at the Autódromo José Carlos Pache in Interlagos, Sao Paulo. This venue has already seen some crazy title deciders in recent history, most notably in 2007, 2008 and 2012, many of them rain affected. The weather is no issue today, as clear and warm conditions are expected throughout the race. And it could not be more exciting after an awesome qualifying session yesterday, as Carlos Sainz, championship leader, starts ahead of Max Verstappen, his big rival, in the first row on the grid. Behind them it's the two Mercedes, also a notably good qualifying once again from Sebastian Vettel, who is in 6th. Kamui Kobayashi, in his last race of his career, starts from P9. Good qualifying effort once again by Mick Schumacher, who starts from 12th. Hopefully he can go ahead this time rather than backwards. And well, I didn't really get a good lap together, so I only start from P17. And now, without further ado, let's start the final race of this season. Here we are for the final time in 2024 or 2023 in the Dream F1 universe. For the final time this season, for the final time in these cars, we'll get a new generation next year. Oh damn. We all make it cleanly through the Senna, as we had a bit of a lock-up in the first braking zone. And we know that from last year, we need to be careful with our front left. This is really a race that is limited on that front left tyre. So this is the crucial one to look after, especially at these bits here. Right now it's all pretty slow because all of the cars bunched up together. And then that has already been one lap. A short lap, but so brilliant for racing, this track. Together with Silverstone, maybe one of the best tracks for racing in modern Formula 1 cars. And now there is Joe trying to prove how well you can race here, but he's super early on the brakes, didn't really dare to try anything around the outside into the Senna's. And don't worry, we will of course take a look at the title showdown and what's going on there. Sainz defended his lead from the start, and he already has over 1 second of a gap to Max Verstappen. This is crucial between these two. Well, as I said, we will take a more detailed look at what's going on at the front at the end of this race, since it's a proper, very close final that I would not have thought is possible after Sainz had a, what was it, lead that was bigger than 50 points at some point. Verstappen had a really great run in those last races to really close that gap down. From Portugal onwards, he was on a roll. As I'm struggling now against Joe. DRS now activated, as we are close to Felipe Drugovich in his home race. So maybe there might be an opportunity to pass him, especially since he's not in a DRS train, so he might be quite vulnerable on the main straight. Through the technical bit. Oh, bit of rocks, I think it sounded like, hitting our underbody. That's interesting. But we will continue. He got a good exit there though, out of Yunsao. So he might live another day. Live to fight another day. Oh! Yep, I went deep there. That was too late. Way too late on the brakes. And now, once again, we have to defend from Joe. And what's even worse is that we lost to Felipe. Oh, what's happened to our front left? This is exactly what I hoped would not happen. Because that one already is not looking that healthy anymore. We will have DRS this time around, but I'm afraid Drugovich will have DRS as well. No, he does not have DRS. So this time we actually might make it. Not quite. We were just that little bit too far away, but now maybe Reto Posta. Are we close enough? Yes. Okay. And let's try and get close to Tsunoda. Ooh, running wide! And there goes Drugovich. Ah. Darn it. Come on, maybe this time. Oh yes, this is looking a lot better. Oh, this time we might be in trouble. We're not close enough to Tsunoda to benefit from DRS. That was a late defense, but I think still okay. And we are now close enough to open the rear wing, but we need to stay close enough over the course of this lap to really think about attacking Tsunoda. Ah! Yeah, Drugovic is a lot better on the technical part of the track here. And once again, Tsunoda is getting away. Oh, and this time I'm afraid Drugovic has a much easier time. Well, I didn't want to risk too much on the brakes, especially since I will have the opportunity to counter this. Which works. Thought he was trying the switchback. He was thinking about it. Oh, but this time he's even closer. Hello's in the pits. Ooh, I got a tire on the grass there. That was bad. Yeah, now he even is getting away from me. I think that is goodbye Felipe for us. But what's that? There is a lapped car. We can see blue flag panels. Somebody's already a lap down. Who is it? George Russell. Okay. Had to be an early pit stop with some damage repairs, because there's no reasonable way to explain this. Okay, I've been driving in no man's land ever since Felipe passed me. Gaps were kind of frozen. Lately Drugovic is even getting away a little bit and Joe is catching up. We'll reach the halfway point of this race at the end of this lap, which means that I will come in at the end of this one. Whoops. Running a bit too wide, are we there? Oh yeah, and that's Joe now through. Being kinda distracted. Oh, look at that. Almost managed to get back at Joe. And now we really need to be careful with the pit entry because I messed it up last year. This year there is no opportunity for me to mess it up because Joe kinda gave a good indication of where to stop. So now where is my pit box? There it is, there it is. Ooh. A very tight one, and oh, our pit crew did a better job than the Alfa Romeo pit crew. Now that really is a strange pit exit. Getting blue flags, probably the leaders are coming through. Yes, they are. There is Carlos Sainz. Ooh. I only did that to let Carlos through, you know. Don't want to be involved in that title fight. Oh, Drugovich just came out of the pit lane. We are closer to him once more. Sainz is currently battling some lapped traffic, and that's Tsunoda up there as well. Oh, there is an opportunity maybe against Felipe. Oh, that's a strange situation here. I think that's George Russell once again. There is yet another lap down. Oh my word, what's going on here? George!
George!
Oh my word. We passed Tsunoda and Drugovich, but the circumstances, oh my word. That was close. George Russell causing chaos and causing me to do my best Alex Albon impression. Oh, almost lost it. Under braking, and there go the 2 spots that we have gained, and even worse. Now there's that very slow Mercedes in my way once again. George, move. Please. Thank you. I've been trying to get close to Drugovich, but the gap was more or less frozen, and when I started to push a little more to see if I can get back to him, that was a bit too much, and I had a few minor mistakes, and that really made us lose touch. And now we have Joe putting us under pressure once again. A bit. This is like the story of this race. Us first passing Drugovich, then starting to lose pace. Drugovich passes us. We make a few mistakes, then trying to catch back up. And in the end, we have to fight Joe. Oh, and Joe has so much more grip. Well, but at least we have a battle on our hands for the final 2 laps that we are starting right now. Okay, we defend from Joe once. This really is a crucial, very critical part of the track there. because this is where I had a massive drift and the car always gets a bit loose. Come on now. There goes Joe, opening the rear wing. Oh goodness! Oh my goodness me! Safety car, Joe is out. Oh my goodness, he jumped over that. Oh my word! He jumped over the sausage curb into our right front suspension. We have now damage to the car, quite severely, but the safety car is out and controversial. The race is finishing on the safety car. Well, actually, the safety car won't really come out because it already is the final lap. But we have ruined it for the guys at the front. Well, I decided to put a bit of blur onto the top three so you don't see the result, but it is a very interesting result indeed. Like Brazil 2012, the race finishes on the safety car due to a crash at a position that doesn't matter for anything. But this is how we end our season. I feel like that was not our fault. I don't feel like I was at fault for this one. Joe went in too aggressive, took the sausage. Oh my word, the safety car is a danger car where it's at there. On the racing line. Whew, okay. Come on, let's at least do a few donuts for the end. Oh, I don't think this will work with our car. The state that our car is in. Well, not that much. Maybe maybe I have to turn it the other way. Let's try this again. Oh yes, that. Oh my word. Yeah, it doesn't really work that well. And you're probably more interested in who is the champion of our second season of Dream F1. And you will see that right now, as here are the race highlights. Well, and let's start, of course, with the race start. And it was Carlos Sainz who was able to defend his lead going through the centers and also exiting it. No chance for Max Verstappen to make any impression here on the Ferrari driver that is still leading the championship, but only by 3 points. But it was rather Verstappen who had to look in his mirrors, as Lewis Hamilton had a very, very strong performance here in this race. He loves this track, and starting or ending lap 3, DRS was active for the very first time, and Hamilton was able to use it against Verstappen. You can already see Sainz a few hundred meters up the road. There he passes us now, and now Lewis Hamilton dives down the inside into the center as they almost make contact, the championship rivals from 21, and Lewis Hamilton takes second place away from Max Verstappen. And now this is almost an Herculean task. You can still see the Ferrari a couple hundred meters up the road, but now there is even a Mercedes between the championship contender. So a few laps later, lap 19, the end of lap 19 to be exact, and Verstappen was still stuck behind Hamilton, but at least he was able to keep up with him. All the while, Sainz was able to increase his lead over these two further and further, but Lewis Hamilton was first to pull the trigger on pit stops, trying the undercut up, maybe even trying to counter the undercut from Max Verstappen. Verstappen then came into the pits 2 laps later, and this is going to be a very close pit exit. You can see Hamilton in the background there. And now, where is Lewis? And Max Verstappen, the overcut seemed to work. And this is great news, of course, for Carlos Sainz, who is still out there. But Max Verstappen made it back into the virtual P2 as he passes Lewis Hamilton, who was stuck in a bit of traffic after his earlier pit stop. But we know Carlos Sainz at the same moment had to battle some lapped traffic. We saw that live when we came across them, and especially George Russell. So, Sainz now a few laps later also in the pit lane, and there is Verstappen and Hamilton. Oh my goodness, this is going to be incredibly close. Verstappen's passed, Hamilton's passed, Sainz is down to third. Incredible. And this has flipped the situation upside down. Now it is Carlos Sainz who is on the back foot, and Max Verstappen in the virtual race lead here, on course to his second championship in the Dream F1 universe. Fantastic news for the Red Bull and Verstappen fans. But the race was still not over. This is lap 31 as they're coming up to George Russell, who will be lapped for a second time here later. Russell retired from this race. We saw the spin he had during the live recording, and there he lets Max Verstappen pass. Now he lets his teammate pass, but then he gets in the way of Carlos Sainz, and this is more terrible news for the Ferrari driver, who lost a few seconds there against Russell, and now even Russell not really letting him by, and now he's dropped outside of the DRS window from Verstappen and Hamilton. Look at that. And this is now the beginning of the final lap for us. This is me against Guan Yu Zhou, and you can now really see what happens here. And this is just Zhou cutting the track, rejoining it, and, well, making contact with us, resulting in him losing his tire. This is the onboard perspective from Guan Yu Zhou, and this is what caused the safety car, which meant no more position changes. There is a bit of contact from us there, but there was enough space for Zhou to take the corner properly, so I still stand by it. I don't think this is my fault, but Max Verstappen will be unfazed by this as he comes round the final corner to win in Brazil, and not only this, he wins the second Dream F1 Championship. Congratulations to Red Bull and Max Verstappen. The new champion is here, and Carlos Sainz will be bitterly disappointed. And now here are the full race results. Max Verstappen wins ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who set the fastest lap once again. Carlos Sainz finishes only third and therefore loses the championship lead in the final race when it mattered most. Sebastian Vettel, another strong finish for Porsche. He finishes fourth. Sergio Perez on his farewell race for Red Bull. He finishes a strong fifth. Then, very good news, Kamui Kobayashi on his last Formula 1 race finishes in 8th and therefore scores 4 more points for Honda. Mick Schumacher, finally another points scoring finish for our teammate. He salvages something out of this race, 2 points for STV Racing. And then, well, we can see it here, we finished in 14th after that collision with Guan Yu Zhou. Luckily, that caused a safety car so that we didn't lose any more positions. Disappointing final race for Lando Norris and George Russell. I said that he retired later in that race. And here are now the final results of the Drivers' Championship. Max Verstappen wins the championship in the final race of the season ahead of Carlos Sainz, who will be devastated to lose it in that way. It was yet another strategic blunder by Ferrari. George Russell just finishes ahead of his teammate Lewis Hamilton, who had a strong race here in Brazil. Charles Leclerc then in 5th. Kamui Kobayashi overtakes us in the final race to finish 12th. We are only in 13th, but with 19 points. This is a very, very strong result this season for us as well. Mick Schumacher on 3 points. He finally passes Alex Albon to finish 17th. And from Zhou downwards, everyone without any points this season. Constructors' Championship, no surprises there. Ferrari wins it ahead of Mercedes and Red Bull. Porsche, now in the end, it is a bit more clear than we expected it to be halfway through the season. They finish ahead of McLaren, and then it is Honda, Alpine, STV Racing, Aston Martin, and Williams, Alfa Romeo, and Haas without any points this season. And that has been it for Season 2 of Dream F1. Season 3 will start with pre-season testing, when you will see the new calendar, the new schedule, the new teams and driver lineups, and of course, well, see you on the other side. Until then, goodbye.